The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
This is obviously my favorite day. Tuesdays have become a family affair. You know, this is where the alums show up. This is where the dedicated present themselves. This is where the 10X community joins together every single Tuesday night. And it never gets old because the value continues to come, because we continue to learn from Brandon Dawson, Cardone Ventures CEO, who's going to be sitting right here by my side. We're just moments away from Brandon Dawson. And Natalie Workman will make an appearance tonight as well. I have been told by Natalie, I cannot ask wedding questions. She said, I can't. If how many of you were here last Tuesday, I drilled her for 15 minutes asking her questions about their upcoming wedding. You know, if you're brand new, say new in the chat right now. If you're joining, you're like, I don't even know who this Brandon, Natalie, I don't know who these people are. Who's this guy up here with a 10X diamond studded chain on? This guy's a whack job. Like if you're new, okay, new, let's see, who do we got? Yeah, is it Yaya? David? Good to meet you. Angelica, nice to meet you. Jeff, newish. Jeff, we'll take newish too. So if you don't know, if you're like, hey, somebody told me I need to join this call every Tuesday. I'm a business owner. I'm looking to grow and scale. That's why you're seeing right now, you're seeing just a couple hundred that are showing up. We will serve over 2,000 business owners tonight over the next hour. This kicks off in the next 3 minutes. That's when Brandon gets in here and starts delivering the value. So we are on average anywhere from 2,200 to 2,400 business owners will join 10X Owners Live through tonight's Zoom call. It is live. It is 4:57 here in Mountain Standard Time. And it's, 8 o'clock over on the East Coast. And from wherever you're at in the world. Where are you in the world right now? I'd love to know. Every night I like to ask, every Tuesday, I ask that question. Someone's in Germany. It's 2 o'clock. Frank, talk about real dedication. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I see Miriam on here, who I know is in Dubai, where it's early in the wee morning hours. Singapore, St. Louis, Northern Colorado, the Rockies have shown up. It's St. Louis. Let's see what else. India. We've got India here tonight. Australia is here. North Dakota. Australia, North Dakota. Both amazing places, very different. But the one thing we all have in common, true or false, we all want to crush it and 10X our business. Can I get a truth? Show me a 10X on your camera if I'm telling the truth right now. That's exactly it. Don't forget tonight, I want you to document this process. If you take away notes, I want you to promote the notes. As Brandon delivers the values, we start answering those questions. The first tip I can give you, if you're new to this, again, if you're brand new to this, take notes. Brandon spits wisdom, ideas. He spits structure and process to help you scale your business. He talks very quickly, and you're going to go, whoa, what was that? You're going to forget what he said. I promise you. So write down those notes. Number two, to make this the most effective and most valuable experience that you can, I urge you to engage, just like you're seeing here from John, like you're seeing from Miriam, like you're seeing from our friend Stephen in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I promise you the engagement increases the experience 100%. Listening to other people's problems and challenges, that's great. You're going to learn something. But engaging with your own challenges in your business and getting personalized custom responses is going to make this a much better, more experienced version. So I urge you to engage, take notes, and engage on 10X Owners Live. If you did get our email tonight, if you got our text message, you know that we are going to be talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk has his own core values. If you didn't see this, this was just released to us today. And so we're going to be going over a couple of those core values to see how they align with your core values. So the first piece of data, as you turn on your cameras, that's part of engagement. I want to see the engagement. Randall, I see your camera's on, but it's black. If you're in a dark room, let's turn a light on. I want to see you in this engagement. Tad Swift. I see that you got your, I think that's OBS Studio. I want to see your actual face instead of your studio. I want to get some data before we kick off. How many of you have core values in your business? Say yes in the chat if you've already developed. I know our alum clients that we work with day to day. Frank says yes. Karen says yes. So many yeses. Mr. Malcolm Sherman, of course you do. Matt, of course I know that. Richard. Chris, I was just going to reach out to you guys today. I want to see how you're doing with your new ad campaign. Chris from The Boot Life says yes. Larry Spack, yes. Eric Spencer says yes. Michelle Mupo, yes. So lots of yeses. How many of you don't have core values? And look, we are all friends. As more business owners start to come into 10X Owners Live, you're just popping in. I see us getting up to 300 business owners now. How many of you don't have core values? We're all friends here. We're all here to leverage the power of this network to help one another. So if you don't have it, this is not the moment where you're supposed to be embarrassed or, puff your chest out or be shy. This is where we get honest. We expose everything that we're going through in our business. So if you don't have core values, Josh says, yes, working on it. Zoom user, change your name to your real name. I'd love to know who you are. Josh says they have them. Sylvia says, yes. How many of you, now this is context, contrast. Brandon always talks about this. As you're developing top talent in your business, as you're looking for those leaders in your organization, as you develop a culture, such a funny word, isn't it? As you develop a culture in your organization, how many of you on a scale of 1 to 10x feel like the culture that you have in place is a direct representation of the core values that you've designed? 10x, absolutely not an issue whatsoever. 1, my core values have absolutely no connection to the culture of my organization. Rate yourself from a 1 to 10x. And guys, if you know Brandon Dawson, let's have some self-awareness here. He would never even rate himself a 10x in anything, right? Boot Boss Holly knows. She's already shaking her head, So let's be honest. I want honest answers here tonight, okay? So D says 4, lots of room for improvement, D. Mia says 8. We got some 5s from Larry, some 6. Let's see, Ryan, it's moving fast. Ryan, Alex says 5. Joni says 4, 5, 8, 3. I'm going to say the average is 6. 5 to 6 is the average here. Aragon says 3. Kia says 3. Amy says 4. So some room for improvement on those core values. So as we wait for Brandon Dawson and Natalie Workman to join us here, they are just moments away. Do you want to, grab, I think they're on the back porch having they're locked out. Oh, are they? They're locked out. We have to let them in. They were having a wedding conversation out back that we're gonna ambush them on. We're gonna ambush them here in a second on Owners Live. But as you rate yourself on where your core values are at, where they exist, I want you to keep that in mind in relation to where you need to go in order, not just to create great culture, but in order to create better leaders in your organization. Brandon and Natalie are going to give us a little bit of outline about our core values, why we have the core values that we have, how we use them, and then how those core values translate into scaling bigger businesses. So before Brandon gets on context contrast, I'm going to pull some more data. Now I know how many of you have core values. Now I know how comfortable you are with the core values you have. Now I want to know, what type of business are you in? So in the chat, go ahead and use that little chat feature off to the right, or if you're on your phone, you hit those 3 little buttons and you chat. What type of business do you have? Financial services, chiropractic, retail, construction, real estate, Chiro, education, automotive, CPA, more finance, nonprofit law firm, video marketing. Wow. Oil and gas. What a plethora. What a plethora of amazing businesses. So a little bit more context, car dealership, more contract, HVAC. This is great. So a little more context here as we get into this. What is the revenue? What is your current revenue and your current profit? Let's all work together here and be honest and transparent. What are your current revenues and profits. Leslie says 3 million. Ryan says 5 million. Okay, 2 million from John. See, Ivan's at 5 million. Fantastic. Noel, 140K. Is that a month? I'm guessing that's a month. 200K. Might be a year. You could be in startup mode. If you're in startup mode, you might do 200K for the year, right? 250K, 3.5 million. So see, this is why I love this, because not only are we all getting to see exactly what industry we're in, you're seeing that business isn't just one template and one vertical. Business can work across all verticals. The processes and systems that Brandon Dawson has not only experienced, implemented, but is now teaching you, don't just work in one type of business. The second thing I like is the quality of the questions that you ask are going to determine the quality of the results. For many of you, you've listened to Brandon Dawson talk about this a lot. You've heard him on the stage at GrowthCon with Grant Cardone, right? How many of you were at the Growth Conference where Brandon Dawson spoke about the walnut story? We were all there together, okay? So you know that Brandon Dawson has been through all of these processes that we're about to give you. You know that he's experienced them himself so that he can help you fast forward in your business. And so being here tonight isn't just about your questions. It's about, look at these $3 million businesses, $5 million businesses, $10 million businesses. So, you know, the beauty in that is you've got the $200,000 a year business learning from the problems of a $5 million business tonight. You've got the $5 million business owner learning problems and challenges and opportunities of the $10 million business tonight. So this is why this 10X community is so important and so near and dear to us, is that we get an opportunity to not only help one individual at one time, but we help many businesses, many different verticals all at the same time. So Brandon's making his way into the studio as we speak. Last question I'm going to ask you, just so we have context. No matter if you're a $100,000 business a year startup, maybe you've got no revenue coming in, your startup. Maybe you're 1 million annual revenue, 5 million annual revenue, or 10 million annual revenue. What is that big break point that you're at right now? What is the biggest challenge in your business this week? I want you to be very specific. Don't just say people. Don't just say marketing. Don't just say sales. Don't say funnel. Okay, don't give me some big broad answer. I want to be specific. Service delivery. This is what I'm talking about. Let's get surgical with one another tonight. Okay, finding additional investors. You're looking for capital. Someone's raising capital tonight. Booking more appointments. We talk about flow, conversion, retention. We got to bring more flow into the business to book those appointments. What else? Hiring. It's moving fast. Dimitri, can you slow it down and back it up a little bit? It's moving really fast. I can't even read that fast. Staff motivation. Here's what I know. It's moving so fast. This tells me that you guys you are here for a reason. So I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate the honesty to show me that, like, you come every single Tuesday to this free 1 hour Zoom call with Brandon and Natalie so that you can pick up these tidbits of data that are going to help you drive more impact on your business. And we're going to answer all of these questions. Let's see, staff training and onboarding. Wow, I need more capital, lots of capital questions. How to convert a webinar to sales. These are great. Shipping delays. Closing the distance between the UK bank holiday and Labor Day, absolutely. How to generate multiple streams of income from the same business. So these are great. Can you actually download these? I can't believe how many granular challenges I'm getting right here. These, just so you guys know, this data helps us inform us on what type of programs we should be offering you. So I'm already seeing some trend lines in here. I'm seeing some amazing trend lines from you. I do want to make a quick point before we bring Brandon on. Tonight, if you're new questions always get asked first. I love our alum, but if you're brand new, you've never been here, we are going to answer your questions first. That's just the way it goes. So if you're new, click on reactions down in the bottom, and then click on raise hand. You'll see the little raise hand icon, and then we'll see you pop up on our screen and we'll be able to take your questions tonight. So reactions, the button is react. Somebody in the chat put reactions and then raise hand, and that's how we're going. I already see the alum already knows. The minute they get in here, Jared already knows, Ryan knows, Mia knows. You guys get in here like, got a question. That's why they're here. That's why they come every Tuesday. That's why they're on all the calls. Without any further ado, I want to introduce you guys to the CEO of Cardone Ventures, somebody who changes my life on the daily. Okay, 25 years of corporate experience. I never thought that somebody could come in and teach me something new. I thought I'd experienced everything.
And little did he know how little he knew.
How little I knew. Little did I know the little I knew. I hear Brandon thought he was hiring a unicorn, and it was more of a,
Why are you sitting so high?
more because I'm shorter than you.
Well, there's only two of us.
But I was, oh, it's Natalie. Okay, Natalie's not coming.
Here,
I'll
get
switch with-
get
this one out of here. So Brandon thought he was hiring a unicorn when he met me. Little did he know he hired a jackass. Okay,
a jack of all
So,
trades.
jack of all trades. That's right. That's right. So Brandon Dawson, CEO, Cardone Ventures. For those of you that are new, scaled his last business, sold it for 77 times EBITDA. No outside capital. I see a lot of the questions here tonight. How do I get more capital? How do I get investments for my business? He didn't do that. He used his own.
I did the first
resource.
time, but it blew up in my face. You know, when you take other people's money, it's a big obligation, a huge responsibility. And if you take professional money,
Mm-mm.
then they have really good agreements.
And so the lesson was around control. You didn't.
Yeah,
have control.
learning, giving, and I gave control up because when they made that initial investment, they didn't have control. But because I did not hit my execution benchmarks, they got more equity until such time that they were in control.
Right.
And then just when I was going to crush it, they decided to sell the business,
Mm.
and I didn't have anything to say about it. So there's lots of ways to learn. The suckiest way to learn is to be on the wrong side of other people having control.
Yep.
That aren't in alignment with you.
Well, we have, this is one of the most engaged 10X Owners Live community calls we've done since. Everyone has shown up today. Their cameras are on. They're asking tons of questions already. Very engaged and interactive. So for me, it's like if you bring the value and energy, I know Brandon's going to bring the value and energy. So you guys showed up today. Brandon's here. Before we crack into the questions, we did ask the question, how do your core values align with what we learned today that Elon Musk, he tweeted his core values. We learned 4 of his core values. He only tweeted 4 that he says he uses to find top performers in his industry. So I want to read a couple of these out to you.
Okay.
And so we'll compare
who
them
is
against
this?
ours. This is Elon Musk.
Who?
He sold.
Oh, wait, he makes your car.
He does make my car. We're a Tesla family.
Well, then let me read what Mr. Ferrari
Oh.
tweeted. I'm just kidding.
Right. So Elon, if you don't know Elon Musk, you know, he sold his company PayPal. Maybe you've heard of PayPal. And he took that cash,
All of it went all in.
all in on his space company and Tesla. He actually went broke, which is exactly what Grant Cardone
Well,
says
and he
to
was
do.
almost broke 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He was within 90 days. So look, guys, sometimes you look at the success other people have. I'm just here to tell you, it ain't easy. It's a commitment and it's a grind. And this guy, Elon, exemplifies all in.
Yeah.
He threw it all on the line. And so now he's worth a lot of money and people can, you know, take jabs at him or whatever, but you got to respect the commitment. And that's what I think a lot of business owners, they're not really committed. They want to win, they want to make good money, but they're not really committed, because to be really committed, you got to recognize your own strengths, weaknesses, and then do something to improve upon them if you really want to win.
Mhm.
So what is Elon's 4 core values?
First one, hard work. I'm sorry, let me redo this. Hardcore work ethic is the first core value.
It's all in.
He says, not only is it about their ability to work harder, but actually work so hard they prove the results. So that's interesting.
And one of our core values is
Results.
the most important one, the 6th one, is results, because activity in itself doesn't mean anything. And if you want to challenge that, just throw me in the ocean and watch me sink to the bottom after I flail around for a while. So you look at me and say, this guy's busy, but I'm going to the bottom.
Yep.
Because I do not know how to swim. I know how to swim, but I can't swim for very long. And for some reason I sink. So at the end of the day, inefficient activity does not equate results.
Yep. John, I like that comment. Elon should come to GrowthCon 2022.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Really cool.
Second core value, the talent to build things. Now, to me, that says innovation, like your ability to be able to build something, right? Now, here's the question. He's building rockets. He needs people that know how to actually build those things, right? Like, so how does that apply to, let's say, landscaping, concrete, HVAC, financial? Like, how does that?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, it's like a lot of you want to build a big company, but you're not really committed to it because you get comfortable or you don't want to risk anything. I guarantee you, Elon was not comfortable when he dumped 100% of his PayPal cash into a startup. And I guarantee you 2 years ago, he was not comfortable, but he had the vision. You remember the tweet? He sent a tweet out saying, we're so undervalued, we're worth $600. And the stock ran up and the SEC went after him saying that he took a stock. What's he trading at today?
Oh man, Tesla, let's see.
It's gotta be a big number. So he was right. That's
735.
There you go. So he knew when the stock was a few $100s or 300 or whatever it was. So the point here is, you got to be all in, you got to be committed. And so if you have an HVAC business or you have any kind of business and you say, I want to be $50 million, you can't say you want to be $50 million and then dance around how you get there. Because Elon, when he says, I want to go to Mars, he's not walking around going, but I want to hire an average engineer,
right,
that's never built a rocket before, innovate the most complicated and sophisticated rockets in the world. Like that doesn't work. So if you're committed to a 50 or $100 million HVAC space, then you got to be committed to, hey, I want to have the best team. I want to have the best partners. I want to have the best strategy. I want to have the best service. I want to have the best financial acumen. You're going to go through a series of, this is what I need because this is my picture. And then how committed to that are you? And then when you're bringing people in, you're like, hey, Buck, I want you to know I want to go to Mars.
Yep.
And I saw in your resume that you had experience building rockets, but I want to pay you half of what you want to make.
Right.
And I want you to work twice as hard.
Oh yeah.
And I want you to give up on a job where you're making more money or have a bigger opportunity. Like, would I recruit Buck? No.
No way.
So like your picture has to be big and you got to be committed to it. And otherwise, if you're not, then what happens is you hire lower level people that don't have a big picture of success. And then you have people issues. You outgrow. That's why he said, not only do I want you to work hard,
prove results,
but get results, because he wants to surround himself with results oriented people, because the only thing that matters at the end of the day are results.
Yeah. And you talk about this in a 10X 360. There's a difference between someone who's a thinker and a doer and a grinder. And so when most people, not even business owners, just people in general, when you hear, yeah, I'm on the grind, I'm hustling hard.
Yeah. Then my question is, you working smarter or harder?
That's it.
And then after a couple of questions, I'll tell you if you're working smarter and harder.
That's it.
You know, the number one thing a business owner needs to get out of their life is their own ego.
Yikes. Write that down.
Because being all pumped up, being the smartest guy in the room, every person I've talked to, they're like, I'm going to figure it out. I got it figured out. I'm going to do it. I don't really need you guys' help, but I'm going to do it on my own. Blah, blah, blah. They never end up making it anywhere because they're too busy talking.
You got to write that down, guys.
I played golf today with Alice Cooper. I don't know if you guys know that name. And he started talking about every single, from Morrison to the Stones to every person that he's worked. You know, the guy hasn't drank for 40 years. He runs every single night. He is a solid business dude, married for 40 years to the same lady, like sharp as hell. And he's like a 2 handicap.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, he's on his game. And you know what? He's going on tour September, like in 2 weeks.
How many cities?
He's doing 25 cities, and then they're doing a global tour. He's going back on, like, and he's running the calculations in every town, every market, the different people he's going to bring in to do things with them, the charities he's supporting, where he's putting his money. He's got so much going on, the number of songs that he put out. the number of artists he's collaborating with. I mean, he's like a machine, and he's just updating me the whole time. We play 18 holes, just, but he's not distracted. And so the thing that I'm telling you guys is, when you're around success, you learn what success looks like and what it sounds like. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you talking about?
A little accountability there, a little accountability. Some of you come here, I know, because you need that accountability. You know, it's easy to wander off. You missed a couple Tuesdays, right? And all of a sudden you've wandered off into the wrong direction. You got to come back and get more. The next one is really interesting to me. I've watched through 360s a lot of businesses start to build their core values. I don't know that I've ever seen this in any organization's core values. He says common sense.
So that's one of his
common sense. He says you can't teach it to someone.
Nah, that's the thinker, doer, thinker. Good thinking, good doing, thinking, good thinking, doing. I mean, you cannot train that. People have to be aware. And so when you identify people who are not aware, you cannot train awareness into people.
Is it fair to say that if you were teaching thinker doer to a doer only, that he thinks he's a thinker or she thinks she's
oh my
she's
God, dude, you know, you've been around me enough to know,
like, yeah, that's me.
Like,
no,
I
not.
won't even spend a moment talking to a drainer or a watcher. And there's nothing worse than intellectually ignorant or intellectually arrogant people. And they present themselves because they're always right. Or they talk and don't ask any questions.
They challenge
everything. Why? Because it's a defensive mechanism to try to prove somebody wrong. You know, I did I did an Instagram post 2 days ago. I'll read it to you.
Get ready for this one. By the way, while he looks up this Instagram, I want to remind you his Instagram is Brandon M. Dawson. Tonight, at any point as you're getting value, do a little selfie Instagram, do a little photo and tag at Brandon M. Dawson on Instagram. We love to see you promoting your experience here. We love to share that experience. We love to communicate and engage back with you.
So I posted, you have 4 months left in 2021. That's 122 days, 2,928 hours, or 680 minutes. Plenty of time for you to learn new skill, change your routine, increase your income, lose weight, gain muscle, etc. Get after it. I did that on August 29th or 31st.
Yep.
So it's August 29th. I got a handful of people that are like, dude, you didn't even wait till September 1st. Dude, it's only, you're still 3 days early or whatever. And I wrote back saying, the point of the tweet, I was nicer than that, but I wrote that there's too many comments, but I wrote, that's the whole point. Certain people are going to look for what's wrong and point that out, versus my question is, what are you going to do with the 4 months?
Right.
Because why would you spend time pointing out to me that I was 2 days early because it's not September 1st?
Right.
And ignore the fact that you have 4 months to change your life. But see, that these people that say that will never change their life, because the only thing they're looking for is what's wrong. What you think is what you say is what you do becomes your legacy. Do you know how many people will point out to us what's wrong with things? And then we'll ask that, okay, we heard you now. So tell us the top 3 things that are right.
Yep.
And they're stunned.
Yep.
They can't even think. Why? Because they're freaking drainers. And drainers, the only way drainers survive or watchers is to find fault. Broken thinkers find fault.
How many of you know
reckless doers find fault? They need to take something away in order to validate their inability to create the results. It's a natural defense mechanism.
You know a drainer or a watcher in your life? Do you know somebody? Think of that person how to spot a drainer. That's a whole series. How to spot a drainer.
Dude, a drainer's so easy. Just look at their body language and look at their engagement. Ask a drainer one question. Hey, what's the greatest thing that happened to you in the last 30 days? Like if you could just pick one amazing thing that happened, and they'll be, oh, my tire busted, my car broke down, I lost my job, I kicked my dog. Like everything is like the world's falling.
And it all happened to them.
And it's always happening to them. They're a victim of circumstance, every circumstance, but they are the circumstance.
Yeah.
So look, people go through cycles. People have bad days. People have bad things that happen to them. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about the natural, inherent, continuous sucking the life out of the room people. Now, here's the thing. At least with a drainer, you can spot them. The thing that's so reckless, you can spot a watcher because then you're like, hey, can we make 100 calls today? Oh, yeah. Hey, can we train a card on you? Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then you see they didn't log in. At least those things you're like, okay, out. The worst thing is the secret killer of all, and that's the reckless doer or the bad thinker. Mm. Like if you own your business, you got to gauge that. And that's what Elon is saying. What was that third one?
His third one was common sense.
Yeah, he's saying like if you don't have common sense, then you're going to be no good to anybody and you're going to be a danger to everyone.
Can you
was there four?
There's a fourth one, but I do want to ask David as a question that I was wondering too. Do you ever try, or is it even possible to motivate a drainer, or drainers are they just done?
Well, you got to remember, well, first of all, a majority of business owners created the drainers.
Oh, law of mirror, right?
Yeah, you injected that in. Mm. So you come home and just listen to when people ask questions on this 10X Owner's Life. Well, my business was doing great and then COVID hit. Uh-oh. And COVID caused me.
No offense to some of you.
No, but look, COVID didn't do shit but expose a weakness you already had. The question you have to ask yourself is, how is it that when you talk to some business owners, they're like, my business was struggling and then COVID hit and then I blew up. Because you got the shit scared out of you. So you took action. Because you thought you were going to lose what you had. So you went after results with tenacity.
That's right.
Because you found something in a marketplace where you can make it work. Man, excuses are like buckaroos.
Yeah, that's
everybody should have one.
No, they should.
So look, it's at the end of the day. People don't know what a buckaroo is.
He's talking about.
Was it a year ago?
What?
2 years ago? Like when we first met, you gave us somebody
buckaroo
gave you a
doll.
Buckaroo doll.
Yeah, I made a doll where you can press it and I speak. It was we called it little buckaroo. It was
cute. It had its little black hair all shiny.
Brandon wanted to snuggle with it, but
Natalie took it from me. And I lost it. So here's the thing. It's look, the only thing you can control. Here's one thing I'll tell you about Alice Cooper. He has spent the last 30, 40 years being kind to the people around him. Mm-hmm. He treats the caddies like they're anybody else. He treats the people that greet you like the people that work for him, the people that work behind the stage. People like him because he's a good human being. So the point here is, like, people have to be good people to attract good people, because if they're not, people don't want to be around them.
That's right.
So the reason I bring that up is when you ask about drainers in the environment, I will tell you a majority of the business owners act like drainers. They create drainers, and they do it by abdicating. So they hire somebody, hey, Buck, I need you to take care of this and make it work while I go do something else for the business. They don't help you. They don't assist you. They don't get you training. They don't align you. And so you're out doing it. And then they're like, Buck, what are you doing? And and then eventually Buck is frozen with fear because he doesn't know what to do. If he knew what to do, he wouldn't be working for you. He'd be doing it by himself or for somebody else. That's right. So you create drainers by the way you engage team members. And so what you got to do is you have to be the highest example. And when you ask a question, can you motivate a drainer? Well, first of all, no human being can motivate another human being.
That's right. We took this note 2 weeks ago from you.
You can inspire them. You can encourage them, but you can't motivate them. They have to have the internal motivation. But I'll tell you what, you can demotivate people. You can take away from people. You can oppress people. You can discourage people. You can make people fearful, and then they become drainers because they can't contribute into the environment being the best version of themselves. So my question to you is, when you honestly look at yourself and the engagement you're putting in the environment every single day, are you being the best version of yourself? Because if you're not being the best version of yourself and you're cramming down on your people, or you're not aligning them, you're not assisting them, you're not helping them, then you are creating drainers in your own organization. And until you have that law of mirror, that self-reflection, and engage differently, you might very well have drainers in your business because you've created them.
I've heard you talk about this for 2 years now. And like, I still learn sitting here next to him. I've heard this over and over, and I still pick up little nuggets. Is it fair to say you don't hire drainers, you create them then?
No. I mean, look, you don't know. People can fool you.
Okay.
Right. But your job is to have a business system and to have enough process and enough encouragement and training in place. I know right away, if I hire somebody and I tell them, look, our core philosophy here is everyone trains in the team every morning. Every leader needs to train and be an example. We're a training organization. We're a development organization. We develop human beings before we do anything else, because if our human beings don't grow, the business cannot grow. And if you go, okay, yeah, I get it, man, great. And then you come to work and you don't train, you don't log in, and I come to you, I'm like, hey, Buck, I noticed you didn't train this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got so much new stuff I forgot. Great, no problem. Hey, but let me sit with you tomorrow. I'm going to come train with you. And I'm going to show you how this works. And I get in there and we train for 2 or 3 days. I'm like, you got this? You got this? And then I go and disengage, and then you don't train. You're a drainer.
That's it.
And you're out. The longer you tolerate people violating your rules, the process, your core values, you got to remove them. Because the minute you don't, the rest of the organization says you're not serious, you're not committed. And when you show your organization you're not serious and you're not committed, now you're the drainer. So if you want to know if you're a drainer or not, ask yourself the question, are you all in? Have you removed conflicting intentions? Are you being the best version of yourself? Are you focused on results? Are you focused on other people's success? Are you helping others be the best version of themselves? Ask yourself those questions. And if you are not participating in the game, get in the game.
So earlier, when we kicked off Owners Live, 10X Owners Live, I asked you the question, what are the issues you're having inside your business? And a lot of those challenges that you were having in your business, they all ladder up to the 4 quadrants, which are people. We're talking about core values and people right now. That's specifically the area Brandon is spending time in. But there's financial modeling, there's marketing and sales, and there's so many other areas of the business. We did this last week, and we'd like to do it again because we heard feedback from you that this was so much value, that it helped your business so much. We put this QR code up. We just tried it. We said, hey, we just want you to schedule a 10-minute, 15-minute chat with us and tell us exactly what those challenges are. So I want to bring that QR code up again. Grab your phone, open your camera, and I just want to connect with you. We want to learn those challenges you were having. Before I give the 4th core value from Elon Musk, I want you to scan this QR code. Bryce, if you put the QR code up for us now, this is, if you haven't done this yet, and you have that challenge, you have that struggle that you're going through in your business, I want you to scan this QR code. It's very simple. Once you scan it, you're going to get this tiny little landing page if you're on your phone. And it's gonna ask you for your name, your phone number, and then you're gonna pick the time that works best for you. We want to develop a relationship with you. We want to go through those core challenges that you're having in your business, and we want to show you how we do it. Model, mimic, master. We want to give you the same structure that Brandon used to sell his last company for 77 times EBITDA, $151 million. We're going to give you the same blueprint. We want to help. We have so many different products. We have so many different events where we can meet.
Yeah. Hey, but you got to put yourself in play. Like, here's the thing. we do this live show. It's free. We coach, but we have so many programs. And I see all these faces that are working with us at all different levels. Look, you can spend as little as $997. You can spend as little as $0.
That's right.
You can spend $997 to plug in, or you can spend $500,000. We have clients that do all that. The point is, the moment you stop plugging in, you potentially could be in trouble unless you're pursuing through somebody else that's helping you achieve your personal, professional, financial goals, and then teaching you how to do it with others. What's the fourth quote?
Trustworthiness.
Oh, dependability.
That's right.
Reliability.
Accountability.
So I have this thing that I do. It's called the confidence meter. And if I lose trust in somebody, my confidence in them goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell people, hey, you know, I was at 100% confidence with you. I'm now down to like an 85. And if we ever get to 75, then we're going to have to disengage and be done with each other. And let me tell you why. If you were the owner of the company, if you were Grant Cardone's business partner, if you were a scaling expert, and all of a sudden you were assured that 25% of everybody around you is wrong or being unfulfilled, or your commitments or promises are being let down to the people you serve, you're in big trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way I can keep this organization from getting in trouble is making sure my team is always pursuing their goals through the organization. And when you no longer are focused on your own goals, you're no longer caring about your personal, professional, financial goals. It's a lead indicator that you no longer care about your team's personal, professional, financial goals. You no longer care about my goals or the people we serve's goals. So if you don't put yourself and care about your own goals, you cannot care about anybody else's. So the lead indicator for me is, how inspired can I create an environment for you to be motivated to do what Elon said in all 4 of those core values? And if you're not doing them, then that's on you. And then my confidence goes down, and then I got to make a player change. And so I have these conversations with everyone, leadership. I've had these conversations over my career, because you know what I used to say, they'll get better, or, oh, I'll just hire around them, or, oh, they'll figure it out, or, oh, it's just too big of a deal. I don't want to have to change them out and retrain somebody. So I would make excuses. I would rationalize.
Why do owners do that? They hire around people.
Because they're like, I've invested all this time and energy, and here's the good things they do, even though these things they let me down. And they justify it because they don't want to get sucked back in it. But the problem is that the more that you have going on around you, the more you send the message it's okay to happen around you, the bigger you get in trouble. And it usually is happening as you're hiring more people, so you have more risk.
Right.
So, you know, I have got one of my mentors, dear friends, is on the show with us tonight. I'm doing a couple different programs with her. Sharon Lechter, I saw her on here, but look, you don't have to take this from me. I learned a lot of what I'm talking about by reading Sharon's work for the past 23 years.
What was the first one? Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then Cash Flow Quadrant. And I just kept going and going and going. But the point is,
she is.
We're going to pull her up. Hey, Sharon, can you hear me?
I can. Thank you so much. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. I saw you flash in front of the screen. And I'm like, we cannot let an opportunity pass us by. So I appreciate you being here. You're such a great supporter. You know how I feel about you. You've been listening to the show. What do you think about Elon's core values and this conversation that's happening tonight?
I think it's a lot for us to, to really plug into and learn. We start going so fast in business. We need to take time and say, are we living this business with quality, or just trying to look at the quantity? And it's important to have those core values. And with every single one of my clients, I talk about creating a code of conduct based on your core values, because everybody needs to be pushing the ship in the same direction. If you don't have the same philosophy, the same goals, the same investment, and it's really, investment of your time as well as your focus. And you do that by creating what your core values are. And if you find people aligned with your core values, you're going to see a much faster road to success.
And if somebody's not aligned, like if like for a lot of business owners, they complain about their employees, but then when you ask those same business owners, what are your core values? What are you driving for? They don't have any. So how can you align somebody with something that they're not even familiar with is important? So the first thing is fixing that. But then once you have those core values in place and you have a team, if you have a team not aligned with you, what do you do about it when you're in business? Do you accept it, or do you inspire them to make a bigger change or move on? What would you recommend?
Well, it starts, I always say hire slow, fire fast. If you have an employee that is toxic, they create a toxic environment. And part of it is, and I know you guys have the rituals at the Cardone offices, is everybody agreeing to the same core values as part of the plan, as part of the business plan, as part of the everyday action. And you have rituals, and those rituals help remind people of what those core values are. Because you can say them, and they can even sign an employee agreement that has them in there. But if you're not living it, if you're not authentic, and you're not reminding everybody of what you're focused on and where you're going, you're not going to have the same kind of impact. So it's really important to have everybody on the same page, and that it comes from how you answer the phone to how you treat your customers, what your goals are, what your KPIs are. I mean, it shouldn't. There's sometimes companies have a lot of secrecy, and the more secrecy you have, the less engagement you're going to have from the employees. The more you can let them own their position and feel ownership in what they're doing, be an entrepreneur within their business, and they feel like they're contributing to a bigger whole, and they've got something that they can agree to. They understand the core values, they believe in them, and then they can focus on delivering them. And it's a process that needs to be reaffirmed on a regular, ongoing basis so that everybody is singing the same song.
And so you listen to Sharon, and right behind Sharon on her right shoulder is her latest book, Exit Rich. And we did an 10X exit program. And here's the thing, you go buy that book right now and you read it. And the whole thesis of the book is the foundational elements you need to have in place in order to create massive value, because you can't sell anything that has no value, and you can't create something with value if you don't build a massive team that's aligned with that. Because if you build it and you're not aligned with them and you go to sell it and they all leave, you don't have anything to sell. True. So you got to understand the bigger context, the bigger picture. So Sharon, tell everybody where they can find your book so they can get ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Well, if you go to SharonLechter.com, I'll actually autograph it for you. You can order it through my website, SharonLechter.com, or you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, local bookstores as well. So
when I kicked off 10X Owners Live, I asked all these business owners, rate yourself on your level of confidence that your core values are actually exemplified throughout your organization. We got everything from a 3 all the way to a 10, but the average trend was around 5 or 6. So Sharon or Brandon, does that surprise you that people have core values, but maybe they're not really sure how they're implemented or how they're shown throughout the organization?
Well, I mean, Sharon can add to this. It doesn't surprise me, because I meet all these business owners who are frustrated that their marketing doesn't work. I pull up their websites and I ask them the top 3 value propositions that I would get as a customer by working with them. And they can't even tell me what's on their website.
Or any other employees.
Or any other, their employees can't tell me what's on their website. So look, if you're sending messages out and you don't even know what those messages are because they're not true, they're not coming from you, you're asking third parties to build all this stuff for you, just like core values. I live and die by my core values. They're my personal core values. They're every business I work in core values. And my core values are inspiration. I think it's my job to create inspiration. What am I doing with you guys tonight? I'm hard on people. Buck will tell you I'm hard on people, because I want Buck to get everything Buck wants to get. When I see Buck gives up on Buck, I know he's given up on me. It's my job to inspire Buck, stretch him to think bigger, stretch him to do more, because when Buck wins, I win. And if Buck gives up trying to win, I'm in trouble. So it's my job to create inspiration. It's my job to have discipline with my team. With discipline, you must have accountability. With accountability, you have to have transparency. Like you can't, if I'm not, what Sharon just said, Sharon said people run their businesses, their secrets. I don't want people to know what our growth is. I don't want people to know what our profitability is. I don't want people to know this or that. I don't want people to know my hours or how hard I work or where I'm at. Like, look, give all that up, man. Make a decision. Do you want something massive or do you want to stay small? So you have to have transparency. Then you have to have alignment. Like people have to know, like, hey, if I'm going to come in and spend and live in 2 different states, move my family everywhere, travel back and forth, bust my ass, be available all hours of the night, be it totally aligned with where we're going, how do I win? Do I win when you win? Like, are we aligned or am I just doing it for you? Once you have alignment, none of those other core values, those other 5 core values absolutely mean nothing. If we don't get results, because if he's flying all over the country with me and doing all this and there's no results, he's going to lose confidence in me and he's going to leave. So you need all 6. Those are my core values. I talk about them. I role play with them. I communicate with them. I try to incorporate all 6 in every conversation I have, because that's how important they are to me. And I'll tell you what they are before you go to my website and read. The other thing I'll tell you is why we exist. Me personally, why I exist, what our mission and vision of the organization, why the organization exists, to impact the lives of the people we serve personally, professionally, financially, through the things they love to do. I love to teach and help business owners. I love to develop team members to achieve their goals. I love to help people who trust me, like all of you, achieve your personal profession. That's what I live for. So that's my mission. It's so simple. Like, it's not confusing. And my mission isn't just for my job. Well, I have a different mission for something else. I have one mission. And then my vision is to impact the lives of 1 million business owners, because if I do that and on average help you build, I don't know, a team of 10 to 25, that's 25 million people. Seems like a lot to me. So at the end of the day, Grant would say I'm 6 billion. I can't even do that mess. 6,975,000,000 less that I want to help than he wants to help. So he told me, I'm thinking too small. That's why you need partners like that. So I'd love to hear from Sharon, her thoughts on that.
There's nothing like the power of association. And when you're in alignment with the people you're with, your results can be exponential. And that's exactly what is being taught here. And I think everybody that's here today, yes, some of you judged yourselves lower. It might have been a bad week. Instead of 4, it really should have been 7. But you're acknowledging that we don't know what we don't know. And so being around the people who have the experience, both the mistakes as learning from them, as well as the successes, will help you identify that 1, 2, or 3 things that can help you take your business to the next level. And just being on this call tonight, you're hearing such an incredible wealth of information. It's elevating you. It's making you think of things that you can do. You can write out a code of conduct. You can talk about what your core values are. And as you feel more confident about doing that, you're going to be more confident about yourself as a business owner, and your team will be more confident in you as well. And all of a sudden you're going to look up one day and you're going to say, I'm not a 4 anymore. I'm a 7 or 8, but I may never be a 10, because I know I'm always going to need the next person. The mentor who got you here today may not be the right mentor to get you to where you're going. And that's why you're here to absorb and to listen and to learn and to make those connections. I see a lot of you that have been here a lot. Oh, Sharon is a 15. Somebody just wrote that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Many of you come each week. Some of you, this is your first time. Welcome. This is a new, incredible power of association. And ask yourself, why are these folks that are coming all the time coming every week? Because they learn something new every single week. And that's the power of association. That's the power of learning, being a lifelong learner. And, I love what I think, Brandon, what you said, intellectually arrogant or intellectually ignorant, right? This is not the place for you if you are either of those, because when you are intellectually aware and intellectually curious, that's how you're going to create an incredibly big business. because that curiosity is what keeps you going, because businesses solve problems and serve needs. And always go back to your initial issue when you're having a bad day. What's the problem you solve? What's the need you serve? And then say, how can I do it better? And find the right people to ask that question. And you're in the right room right now.
Oh my gosh, it's just like, just melts off her mouth. It's so beautiful. Intellectually curious or intellectually aware. Think about it. Intellectually curious, and it's a Maxwell law too, law of curiosity. That's where, when I say the quality of your questions determine the quality of your results. How do I know when people are not drainers? They're asking questions. How do I know when they're drainers? They're telling you what's wrong. It's so simple, because if you've got resistance in your life and you're not asking questions, and then you're in a forum where you could ask questions, but you choose to spend your time telling somebody what's wrong. And if you ever coach with me, I tell you, I don't need the story, just ask the question. I will be able to determine what the issue is based on the question. And if you say something like, well, I don't know, why can't you hire any good people out there? Well, because you're not a good person. Like, who would want to work with you if you're a shitty? Like, I don't want to be around you just from the question you asked me, because I know there's remarkable people out there.
Yep.
So you're asking the wrong question. It isn't how come you can't hire good people. It's what do I need to do to be such a good person that people want to attract me? They want to work with me. Like, when you're struggling in some area of your life, it's because you either have a blind spot, or, to Sharon's point, you have an awareness. And if I'm struggling in an area, the awareness would say, you know, let's see, I'm the boss. I chose to start this thing. For some reason, I'm incapable of hiring highly inspired, highly engaged, highly active people. So I need to go learn to do that. And I need to find an example. So that's someone being curious, and it's somebody who's being aware. But when you're saying there's no good people out there and people are always letting me down, you're ignorant or arrogant. So just apply that test. But this is why I love Sharon so much, because she has a way of using words that just stick.
Yep.
And you know, when you have somebody in your life who can provide so much wisdom in such a compressed window of time, and you hear that, then you know you're sitting in the right seat with the right people. The question you have to ask yourself is, how do you get around that to where it helps just so solidify it and ingrain it in your mind that then you can exemplify? I see some people on here that are struggling. And all you have to do is go back. For anybody who's struggling, go back and look at the way you're asking the question. You know, I see some, it doesn't work for me. I've tried. Well, of course, you're going to always try until you succeed. Give up on being a victim of that. Nobody was handed any success. You have to go earn it. Elon, when he bet every dime he had on his next venture, tried all the way up to 2 years ago, despite Tesla being a multi-billion-dollar valued company, almost went out of business. He's still trying. He's not to Mars yet. He's still trying. It's in the trying that you find the breakthrough. It's in the trying that you get the victories. It's in the trying that you become an example. It's in the trying that you either start working smarter and not harder. It's in the trying that all breakthrough happens, because if you stop trying, nothing happens. So instead of being a victim of trying and having resistance and friction, keep trying until you figure out how to break through it, and then teach others to do what you just did, because that's the gift.
My favorite Brandon Dawson quote is, do you want to keep trying it your way?
Yeah. Hey, you want to keep doing it your way? You want to keep trying it your way? Tell me how it's worked out. And then the intellectual, ignorant and arrogant will tell me what I need to understand about their situation, versus saying, that's a good question. What would you recommend?
There we go. How would you recommend I try doing it? And why would you listen to Brandon? Because he's done it. He's done it before.
And why do I listen to Sharon? Because she's a trusted advisor. She's done it. She spent her whole life after doing it, helping other people do it. Like, I want to be around people who are committed not only to their success, but once they have it, transferring that knowledge and that information to other people so selfishly. Because she could say, I don't have time for any of this. I'm going to go over and build another $100 million thing for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say the best 3 questions that you can ask anybody, you're going to get wisdom from, guidance from, counsel from, lawyers, accountants, consultants, friends, family, employees, business partners, anybody you're going to get any of that data from or talk to, professors. Ask the 3 questions. Question number 1, what's the most amount of money you've ever made in a year?
Everybody write this in the chat right now, so I know you're retaining these 3 questions. First question.
There you go. Jared knows. Second question, what's the biggest thing you've ever built?
Write it down. Biggest thing you've ever built.
And how many qualify? How many employees did you have? And then the third question is, what's the most amount of money you've ever made on an exit? Now, it's so funny. I had this conversation. I'm trying to recruit a high-end executive for one of our new business units. And I asked these questions. And he said to me, well, I didn't technically have an exit. I go, well, what do you mean? He said, well, our business got bought.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have equity because I came after the founder already started it.
Mm-hmm.
The business got bought, and they opted to roll us into their bigger business, which happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and so I had the choice of going into the new business with them or opting out. I opted out. I go, okay, so you exited your roles, you exited your responsibilities. Did you get paid anything for exiting that? He said, well, actually, I had a parachute provision in my contract, and I got 24 months of my salary. I go, well, then you were a pretty valuable person. If, I've seen parachutes. Sometimes parachutes are 1 year,
2 years.
Sometimes parachutes are 6 months. Sometimes parachutes are for smaller amounts, but you got 2 years your executive salary for a parachute. So that was an exit. Now, if he would have said to me, I didn't get anything, then I would have known he was not important to the deal. He was not important to the transaction.
Right.
So exiting doesn't necessarily mean getting a lot of money. It means when you left where you were at in that cycle, what happened? And did you get anything out of it? And if the answer is no, then most likely people don't know how to structure the way to get in because they left without anything. So the asking the right questions tells you everything. But here's the point. If you're going to ask those 3 questions and the people that you're asking them of are not examples to where you want to be, why are you talking to them? Why are you working with them?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you listening to them? Because now you got to think about and say, now, if everyone I wanted to hire came to work for me and asked me those questions, what would I say to add credibility to me so they would want to work with me?
Mm-hmm.
And if you could be the example to other people, which is why Sharon and I 20 years later are working together, because together we're stronger than apart. It's why I worked with Grant Cardone. Together we're stronger than apart, because I recognize the areas that he can add to my life or she can add to my life. Now, my job is to give that to you or give it to Buck, my team, so they can pursue their goals. How much accountability do all of you have with your own team at home about taking this knowledge, proving you can make it work, and then adding value to others? Because true leadership is making other people's success easy. And on a scale of 1 to 10, be honest with yourself. I want to see it in the chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you were gauging yourself in making other people's success easy, 10 being it's top of mind, fully focused, dedicated, and committed, and be careful because I might pull you into role play. 1 might be, I'm not focused on it. Where are you at? I want to see.
David's 4, Andy's 4, lots of 4s, 5s, and 6. Eric 7.
Yeah. So people are at, someone gives himself a 10.
It's not real.
It's not. Go ahead and bring some aid, some ads. I can't see my glasses. I don't know. This is going to be good.
Yeah.
A 10X. And developing and helping other people succeed.
Tomato,
Nah, it's a spammer.
Spam. How many of you are tired of doing it your way and want to learn a new way? Raise your hand. Show me with your hands. Give me a 10x if you're ready to do it a new way. Give me a 10x. Okay, Bryce, I'm gonna have you put that QR code up again because we want to do the same thing with you. I want you to schedule that appointment. Get with a Cardone Ventures business consultant right now to help you figure out where you can plug in to the learning to do it a different way. Scan that with your phone. Also, I'm gonna have our team put it in the chat. So if you are actually watching this on your phone, you're like, I can't scan it, I'm on my phone. We're gonna put the link, there it is. Enrique dropped it in there. Hit that link right now and schedule that 10-minute chat. Okay, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to develop the relationship, learn more about the challenges that you're going through in your business. It doesn't matter if you're at 500,000 annual revenue or you're doing 10 million annual revenue. We want to develop that relationship with you and learn how we can get you to 50 million, 100 million and scale your business.
Hey, look, and if you're in the contractor space, so here's the thing. If you're in your business, you're like, man, I need to blow it up. I'm new to this thing. Like, we have an event almost every single week.
Yep.
We have a 10X 360 here in Scottsdale. It's our inaugural event, our brand new location here. It's a boutique event because we just put it on the schedule a few weeks ago because we got our facility. It's going to be unbelievable.
Let me ask this. How many of you know what a 10X 360 is, but you haven't been to one? Put in the chat, me. If you know, you've heard it before, you've heard Brandon Grant talk about it, but you haven't come. Me.
Hey, look,
me.
Yeah, there you go. Look at all those me. So look, if you, it's, what's the date?
It's coming up next weekend. We got just about 2 weeks here till next.
Yeah. So weekend. Put the date in for the 360 that's in Arizona for my team. So here's the deal. So we have that, and then we have boot camp coming up in Miami, Florida. And the day before boot camp, we're running a 1-day construction cash flow program where we're bringing in our construction members we've been working with and partners that are absolutely crushing it. We're going to spend 8 hours explaining how we do it. So if you're in the construction space, HVAC, home remodeling,
concrete,
roofing,
pools,
electrical, swimming pools, a hardscape land, softscape landscape. I don't care if it's construction based and you want to see how to transform your business and you want to hear doing real life before and after with people we're working with and hear from them, it will transform you. If that's what you want to shoot that QR code, get involved, show up, put yourself in play and let us help you.
That's right.
And I promise to do my job to go out and find partners I trust like Grant and like Sharon and like other people to help you guys in areas where I need help. See, the best part of getting help is admitting you need it.
That's it. That's it. That's the first step. So how about this? We've gone over time here. Maybe since everyone loves to role play with you, next Tuesday, we go full role play. We just launch right into role plays.
I mean, that's fine with me.
You want to do that next Tuesday? Because we had a lot of hands go up, but we've hit our time here.
And Sharon, thank you for being on here. We love you and appreciate you. Yep. Hey, I'm always
pleasure.
up for role play.
My pleasure. There you go. 10X.
That's right.
Yeah, 10X. Thanks, Sharon. Sharon, you look beautiful, by the way. What do you got going on tonight?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm on my way downstairs to have a wonderful dinner with my husband.
That date night at Sharon's house. Let me give everybody the address.
Yeah, come on over. Come on.
Love it.
See, you guys enjoy your dinner, Sharon.
By the way, Bryce, will you put all the books that Sharon has wrote? There was just some questions around like, what other books has Sharon wrote? Lots of books. So paste that in there, and then also paste the link for her new book as well. Exit Rich. I want to make sure there they are.
Look at all those great
Exit
books.
Rich,
and that's just a small sampling of them.
3 Feet from Gold, Outwitting the Devil. So great. And there it is, SharonLechter.com to get her new book. If you go to SharonLechter.com, you get the autographed version there. So I want to make sure you guys show Sharon for all the value that she brought tonight. Show her some love. Speaking of value, in the comments, we close every owner's live. You took notes. There's a lot of people, a lot of business owners came through. Over 2,000 business owners came through tonight. Drop your notes in the chat. We want to see what did you take away. This isn't just for you, it's for everyone else in the 10X network. They want to see those notes as well. So put in your notes in that chat. Best note, we'll let you role play first next Tuesday. How
There
about
you go.
that?
That's
So
awesome.
who's got the best notes?
And thank you guys. We appreciate you. Appreciate your commitment to yourself. We're here to help, and we love sharing our Tuesday nights with all of you. So thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Love it.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.